Mexican cowboy comes stepping up to me, saying, howdy, young fella, would you like to go? And to spend another season with me in Mexico. I had no lawyer back to him, I say, it's according to your wages, according to your pay. Said I pay you good wages, nothing to you know. If you spend another season with me in Mexico, hired up to this cowboy, offered him my hand. Spent a year screening horses so they couldn't stand. Now I nearly starved to death, boys. I need to let you know that I never saved a dollar in those hills of Mexico. Yo! Hi! Welcome to Dead Dodge Garage Live. It's the Super Slobbery Sunday Special with my friend Beefcake. Say hi, Beef! He doesn't want to say hi. He's too busy smelling stuff. Our good friend Miles, one of the earlier subscribers. In fact, he was in the very first video, now that I think about it. He's helping a friend move, and we're babysitting his dog. He's a sweetheart. Everything about him says he should be much bigger than he is. Anyway, how's it going out there, everybody? Donnie, I'm assuming the coffee is at your house. Oh, yeah, so apologies for all the dog noises. You make so many weird sounds. Come on. Come on. What are you doing? Look at how cute he is. Oh, yeah. He's got paws fit for a dog like double his size. He's camera shy. He doesn't want to actually look. It's messed up. Oh, yeah. Why don't you lay down or something? Why don't you do that? Nope, can't do it. Just got to slobber on stuff. Jason Umbright's with us and says, we're all going to be late trying to finish some Magnum swap wiring guide video. Anyone who's been around the channel long enough knows that that guide was supposed to be made with that truck I sold to Jason. Good times. Yeah, the Holly 1920 is the worst carburetor ever made. My sister's here on time. Crazy. Rich Jordan's here with us again. Hello, Rich. Dan Tupper, as usual, is with us. How's it going, Dan? I saw that link you sent me. That Duster's a little smashed and hacked up for our liking. Donnie wants to know why I put a video out an hour before the live stream. So much DDG, so little time. I'll tell you why. Because if I post it tomorrow, it won't get any views. And I finished filming it this morning. I spent hours on it. And then, of course, I had to edit it. And it's a half-hour-long video. Yeah. Friday's video. Oh, yeah. Well, I know a lot of you guys saw it. The A-Body history video. That did pretty well. A little bit different. A lot of people didn't quite recognize that I was trying to make a podcast and all the pictures were extra. So a lot of people said, more pictures. I get that. So, yeah. But other than that, it seemed to be pretty well received. I enjoyed that. Yesterday's video on the Wagoneer was awesome. And because it was awesome, no one watched it. No one watched it. A commenter just said that the VSS controls the shifting of the 46RE. No, it doesn't. But it may well tweak timing. It might affect trans shift points, but it can shift just fine without it. Ask me how I know. Anyway, Cave Dave's here. How's it going, Dave? Peter Griffin is now a weekly fixture as well. 12 Bravo dropped in and said, yeehaw! 12 Bravo's also been commenting on all my videos. Thank you for that, my friend. Wagon ears ho! Busted Radio Garage is here as well. How's it going there? The BRG. Well, now he laid down. Look at this boy. He's such a good boy. His little face. I love him. His name's Beefcake. Or Beef for short. Or Beefers. I can't do a Sam Elliott voice, but Donnie can, and it's pretty damn good. Bob's here with us. How's it going, Bob? Happy Sunday fun day to you. Benjamin C's here and says, hello all. How's it going, Benjamin? Bob says, that was great. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that. Will C is here. I recognize that name, but I don't think I've seen it for quite a while. So thanks for joining us. L Johnny 22 says, hey, Jamie. Johnny Nygaard checking in. Johnny Nygaard, super talented musician. We play together in the band Miss Mackey and Company, the cover band I've told you guys about. Super talented guy. He was playing a big show at the Harley weekend thing yesterday in Ocean Shores. Looked like a party. Thanks for being here, Johnny. We haven't played together in a while. It's starting to feel like a lifetime. I think it's only been a month and a half or something. I don't know, but it feels like a really long time. I guess it's been since May. Joe Stevens is here and says, what up, Mopar people? Just the normal things. Picking, grinning, drinking, listening to dogs whine uncontrollably. My sister says the coffee's at her place. JMR says, hey dudes, how's it going? Mostly Mopar's with us again as well and says, evening everybody from Middle Georgia. Evening from the salty side of Washington. 12 Bravo's in North Georgia. Nice. I don't think this one was in Paulsbo. It was in, I don't know. It's orange. It's all smashed up and half the rad support's gone. There's no front clip. I don't even think there's front suspension. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a little rough, but still an orange duster. It's pretty cool. Tom had one almost just like that he sold a couple months ago. It was a little beat too, but it was a much better project than that one. Cole Soon is with us and says, is Middle Georgia near Hazard? Hopefully they answered that because I have no idea. G. Bob Baluba says, I watched the video on the wagon. Oh yeah, good. I mean, it's still got a few thousand views. And I have to like step back and go, that's a lot. The problem is, compared to all of the other videos I've done over the last couple months, it's in last place by quite a bit. So, you know, I shouldn't be grumpy about 3,200 views. And I'm not, you know, I'm proud of the video. I think it's good. It's an awesome Jeep. I kind of want to buy it. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, 52 of you with me now. Please do me a favor. And if you can figure out how, hit like on the stream because it does stuff for the things with the deal. Also our friend YT viewer, who is usually here and has also been following me for quite a while. I think he's been in most of the lives. I don't expect we'll see him tonight. Apparently he's been having mini strokes. That's unfortunate. So he's at the hospital right now. Hope you get some answers. Hope you're feeling better soon. It doesn't sound like a party to me. Anyway, please hit like on the stream. Really appreciate that. Tickle the like button if you would. And yeah, tell us what Mopar you're working on this weekend, if you are. I asked for feedback specifically on Friday's video. It was a totally different kind of video, one I wanted to do for a long time. So I think we're good on that. But if you have any feedback on my other videos of late or any technical questions, personal questions, whatever you got, you can request songs, but I probably won't play them. One-Eyed Cat's with us again and says, I was watching your video, The History of the A-Body. That's one I was just talking about. I have a pair of first-gen Valiants. Really cool. I'm not totally sure I've ever even seen one. I might have, but I can't think of when that would have been. Of course, I said in the video that I don't have one. I've never had one. I don't even know where to find one. And within half an hour of posting it, someone sent me a link to one in Idaho. Ask and ye shall receive. Damn it, boy, Rod Shop's with us and says, "What's up?" Normal stuff. What's up with you? Oh, now you lay down and quit whining. Donnie says, Amy's phone is dead, but she wanted me to let you know that she enjoyed the meat wagon video. Nice. Yeah, someone said the meatball wagoneer, and then Donnie shortened it to meat wagon. I could see just calling it meatball, you know. I like them simple and short and sweet. I'm also not really, despite jokes from recent videos, I don't usually name cars, but it is helpful to be able to refer to them in some way or another. If I say the Barracuda, that doesn't mean anything. One of the neighbor kid's friends asked my brother this morning, flagged him down when he was leaving in his Valiant, doing Big Smoky burnouts, flagged him down and said, hey, is the one Barracuda, is one of the Barracudas for sale? And my brother knew which one he meant, and he texted me and said, is garbage can for sale? And I said $4,200, and then I realized, wait, that's the other Barracuda. No, garbage can's not for sale. There's too many of them. Can't keep them straight. Anyway, awesome. Let her know I appreciate that. Evening, Belle James. How's it going there? I got a present in the mail, and it's this. This is a brand new NOS heater control valve for the 79 Chrysler 300, which is awesome. Really exciting. It's kind of a peculiar part, and the fact that it was missing, like, I didn't know where to find one. One appeared as if by magic. What? Oh, that might be my dog Zero whining to get in here. No, you can't come in here. You're too party. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys this. This is the box it came in. And if you know NOS Chrysler parts, that looks like a factory Chrysler box with the red, white, and blue. You kind of got to look closer and realize that is not a Pentastar. That's a 6-pointed star. That is a counterfeit reproduction part in a box that looks like a Mopar box. Figure that one out. Anyway, thanks for that. Bobby's B says, is it Sunday again already? It is. I know, it's crazy. The weeks just fly by like a broken down dam. I could do that one. I think I've done that one on the stream before. David Chorus is with us and says, hello. First time watching your live stream. Awesome. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoy it. It's a weird grab bag of Mopar facts, stories that go nowhere, and occasional jams. So thanks for being here. Busted Radial Garage wants to know, you interested in parting with the Blues Bro Monaco? It was sold like before I ever got to rock it. So a year and a half ago, or maybe even more. I'm not totally sure. So it's not ours anymore, but it's just sitting there waiting to be shipped or picked up. And we've just talked about getting it running for fun. Evan tried before, and he said it had something really weird going on with the ignition. Not sure what the deal is. I haven't looked at it. We opened the hood and found some bees and kind of stared at it once, and that was a year ago. So I may get it running for video, but it's not our car. I can't put actual, money and time into it. I'd like to do it for fun, but it is not for sale. Already sold long ago. Wayne Kaczynski, hopefully, is with us and says, first time on the chat. Love your humor. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Some people appreciate my humor. Not everybody, and that's okay. Oren Cahoon's with us again and says, Wagoneer was a good video. I don't understand why no one watched. Typical Dead Dodge Garage good times. Yeah, I thought it was good. It went really well. It was way too easy. It was just good, clean fun. I know why it didn't do super well. It's not a Mopar. A humongous chunk of my viewership are really only in it for the Mopars. And I know that because every time I post something that's not a Mopar, it just doesn't do that well on the channel. And that's a big part of why I don't usually do non-Mopar stuff. I mean, yeah, the channel's called Dead Dodge Garage, so that does make sense. Hell, some people complain when I work on Plymouths because they're not Dodges. Figure that one out. Makes no sense to me. But anyway, that's the main problem. And it could be timing. It could be the thumbnail, for whatever reason, just isn't appealing as some. It could be people weren't on the internet this weekend because there were events or things. You know, it's so hit or miss. But yeah, again, I mean, it got like 3,200 views this weekend, and it may well go on to get more. Sometimes they do that. They don't do super well when they first come out, and then they get discovered by other groups, and then they get big. So we'll see. You know, I think it's a good video. It's an awesome rig. I want to own it really bad. Zero's so sad he can't come in here. Those two dogs, they love each other. Like, they really love each other, if you know what I mean. They're both boys, but, you know, they don't care, and I ain't here to judge. But they really like to party. They have to be separated. What? Why would you say something like that? I don't understand. Hopefully this guy doesn't have to go potty while I'm live streaming. Benjamin C. also says, speaking of Magnum swaps, anything special or unexpected required if using a manual trans? Only two things. One, balance. If you are using a Magnum 360, the flywheel has to be weighted for the Magnum 360. You can't use a normal 360 flywheel. What I have done, and I have a video about this, it's called Magic Trick That Shouldn't Work. And that's where I take the special 360 Magnum flex plate and put it over a neutral balance 318 flywheel. Use it as a sandwich plate. To do that, you have to machine an area off of the flywheel, and then it fits right in there. It's almost like they planned it that way. So that gets you the balance. And if you're using the EFI, you need that flex plate for the windows for the crank sensor to work. If you're using a carburetor, you don't have to worry about that. It's just the balance issue. So yeah, if you are going to put the old school 4-speed behind it, that's what you're going to have to do. Now, there is at least one company now selling a 360 Magnum flywheel that fits the 833 that is balanced correctly. I don't think anyone is commercially selling a flywheel that has the notches for the crank sensor and the correct diameter. I don't think that exists. People have made them, or they do the sandwich plate thing, but I don't think you can just buy one. So you can solve the balance problem, but if you want to use the EFI, that's a different story. You got to get the flex plate in there. There are other ways to deal with it, but that's the broad strokes of it. Balance, and if you're doing EFI, crank sensor windows. So yeah, watch that video, Magic Trick That Shouldn't Work, and that should tell you everything you need to know. If you're going to put it in a truck and use like an MP435, I believe the factory Magnum flywheel is the correct diameter and tooth count for the truck bell housing, but you need to verify that. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm fairly sure they're the same, but I do not know that to be a fact. Haven't tried it yet. So there you go. Also, if you're using the crank sensor with the 833 or with any other transmission that wasn't supposed to be behind the Magnum, and you need to put the crank sensor in the bell housing, so you have to grind a hole in it. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Will C says, I'm in northeastern Washington. Wow, that's a long way away. I don't think I've ever been in northeastern Washington. I've been in southeastern Washington. Tickle the like button. Oh, now Amy Harville is here because her phone's back from the dead. Welcome, Amy. Welcome, Amy. Yeah, David Corliss says, to keep with the Mopar theme, ram the like button. I like that. I don't have any little rams nearby, or I would have. Yeah, anyway. Oh, God. David says, never take apart a charger center console and then go back to put it together months later. Where are the bolts? Luckily, someone made a video of how it comes apart. Yeah, I don't envy you. I was not looking forward to putting that back together. The 66 charger center console, the full length one, is in two pieces, and there's a plate that inserts in the back section, and bolts or screws. They might be countersunk screws. Don't remember. Anyway, they go into that plate. Well, when you take the screws out, the plate falls down, and I don't know how you get your hands in there to fix it. I have no idea. So good luck, buddy. I think I mentioned this last week, but Dave was actually here last week. He helped me get the poly engine and the greenish monster figured out. Broken rings. And that was the picture from last week, the piston that I destroyed. So I got a set of pistons this week from my friends at Lamvinsky's Garage, and they have brand new rings on them, and they're beautiful. But 4 of them are cracked. So I'm going to have to figure some stuff out. One way or another, we're going to have a full poly engine, a full 8 cylinders worth of poly running in that truck sometime in the near future. And I think Dave's going to come help me out with it as well. Also, let's see if I can just find a picture of it real fast. Oh, my phone's going to die. That'll be fun. I think I mentioned that Dave found me a bed. And so I went down and picked that up. And it's actually sitting on the truck now. Of course, I realized immediately that it's the wrong bed. It's a 70s bed, just like the one I put on the 48 Power Wagon. Why did I not think about that? And there's a wheelbase difference, so I got to fix it. But I'm still excited. It's cool. Wayne says, love your humor. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Wayne. Really appreciate that. Mopar Man 67 says, great channel. Any long distance revivals in the plan? Picking a car up from a far place and trying to get it back to the shop. No. Now, a few notes about that. First, people are already accusing me enough of ripping off Derek. In fact, someone did it Friday on one of my videos from like a month or 2 ago. He said, quit ripping off Vice Grip Garage and do something original. And I know it was Friday because I know that it was the day I posted the A-Body history video, which happens to be completely unlike anything you've ever seen on Vice Grip Garage or probably ever will. And then I've done 2 Mopar technical guides in the last couple weeks, which is totally unlike anything you'll ever see on Vice Grip Garage. Anyway, it's still a comment I get all the time because I'm kind of a redneck and I'm kind of being silly next to old cars. So I'm automatically knocking off Derek. So I don't have plans of going and doing that. The other thing is, it doesn't really fit into my schedule. I don't really have the time for it. And the way I buy projects, I've talked about this on lives before. I understand if you haven't heard that, and that's fine. The way I acquire projects, I have this calculation. It's distance versus cost. If it's free, but I have to drive 100 miles to get it, I'll drive to 100 miles and pick up a free Dodge Dart. And that's what I did a few days ago. If it's a good bit more than free, but it's next door, I'm going to try like hell to get that. If it's expensive and it's far away, or if it's not free and it's, hundreds of miles away, I'm probably not going to try and get it unless it's a 68 Charger. The one video of that type that I have done is the one where I drove my 68 Charger home. Now, that wasn't a revival. It ran. He moved it around in his shop and stuff, but it hadn't seriously been driven in like, I'm not sure how many years. He really hadn't used it for a long time. It was registered when I got it, but it had mostly been sitting. So it certainly hadn't done a 300-mile drive anytime in recent history. So it was still a bit of a gamble. It was an adventure. I had problems, but it made it home. If an opportunity like that arrives, I'll do it. But again, I'm not looking for them. And yeah, they always seem to not have brakes. They always need a gas tank. It's just things that I don't have the time to deal with, if that makes sense. When I go and get cars, I put them on the trailer. I don't need to drive them home. I could, but I don't need to do that. So yeah, probably not, but it could happen. And just for the record, it is something I did pre-YouTube. I did it several times, and I enjoy it, but I haven't really had time or cause to do it anytime recently. Will C also says, I love the A-Body history video. Awesome. Thank you for that. Ross says, you got buku views on a 61 Polera video. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I know. It's ridiculous. But it is a Mopar. It's cool and funky. And again, like the stars must have aligned. The right number of people were on. The right number of my viewers watched it and liked it. It was longer. It got more watch time. It got more likes. And so, yeah, it just took off like wildfire. And I think as of now, it's 64,000. What? Dog noises. I think it's my third most viewed video of all time. 65,000. Yeah. Third most viewed video of all time. Which annoys Tom because the 70 Roadrunner, that video was doing really well, and it ended up being 10th, right behind the 79 Chrysler 300, which is 9th. So anyway, that's just fun for me. Yeah, again, I mean, and I asked here several times, like, how did that Polara video do so well? I don't know. And that's it. And Tom and I talk about this all the time. Like, maybe this video will do well. It has the characteristics of a video that'll do well, and then it just doesn't. Or a video that's like full of failure and a weird car that you wouldn't think anyone cares about, it just takes off like crazy. So yeah, it's hit or miss. I'm just going to do what I do. It doesn't matter that much. Donnie says, sadly, working on no Mo Power at the moment. 55 Chevy 210, which is awesome, and I'm jealous. And 66 Ranchero. What's for dinner? Well, Earl, the neighbor, gave me a hot link before I came on. I don't know what's for dinner after that. Ava and my wife went to see the Barbie movie today with a friend. So I suspect they've probably eaten. So I don't know, a sandwich? Corn dog? What? Why are you like that? He's so cute. Evening, Stacy. How's it going? How was your vacation? Michael Nault says, I watched The Wagoneer. I didn't watch today's how-to. I'm beyond how-to help. Understood and appreciated. Blake Gaddis is here with us as well. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Blake. How you doing? Jeff Devers? Hopefully one of those is right. Says, hello from Alabama. Would you consider doing a program on how to diagnose wiper motor problems? Yes, that is something I need to do. In fact, let me make sure that gets on the list. It might already be on there, but I want to make sure. I've had to sort through them a few times before. Anyway, I am by no means an expert. The wiper motor is a complicated piece of equipment. It's the one thing in your car that has power going to it when it's off. And that can do weird things. So yeah, a video on that will definitely come eventually. Damn it, boy, Rod Shop says, we named our 65 Dart wagon the Paddy Wagon. Nice. I like it. Mean Street Mopar says, I have a set of keys with that same 6-pointed star. Interesting. I wonder if it was the same company. I suppose it probably was. No, I've never seen a key like that. That's cool. Donnie says, I named all my cars Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Oh, yeah. Here's Pile 3. Yeah, that's pretty good. I would prefer mine to be lacking the rear set of doors. I mean, you could always fix that, like the DD Speed Shop. Aw. I think my wife's on her way home, and she sent me a picture of my daughter. I guess she had a busy day. Good stuff. Yes, Donnie corrected himself and said, just kidding, the Roadrunner's named False Advertisement. Yeah, that's a great one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Bluesmobile is pretty cool. Thanks anyway, brother. Lovejoy says, sorry I'm late. I was dealing with a weird power issue at my place. The lot owner looked at the disconnect box aggressively, and it fixed itself. So if you were dealing with that, you may not have noticed yet that the Magnum wiring guide is live. Lovejoy is one of several people that has been asking me for that for ages. David Corliss says, anyone see the 66 silver Coronet wagon that was recently sold on YouTube? Sweet looking Survivor. No, that's cool. You may or may not know we actually have a 66 Coronet wagon, but it's not silver, it's white. It's parked right out there. David Bisnet says, amp gauge, power in, good, needle doesn't move. What is that noise? What does any of that mean? Power going in, good, needle doesn't move. Any ideas would be appreciated. Thanks. Appreciated. Thanks. Power going in is good, meaning you tested the gauge for power. Make sure there's power on the red wire coming in and black wire going out. Oh, good. Now all the dogs have joined in. That's great. Would you stop? I'm live streaming. Jesus. Make sure there's power coming into the gauge and going out. And if you haven't checked my Mopar no crank, no start video, you should do that. Check it out. Might help you. Hank Reardon says, great videos this week. Love the Waggy and the Magnum swap guide. Thank you. Has anyone ever noticed that those Wagoneers look like a tall coronet? They really do. I don't think of them as wagons, but they really are just big wagons. Would you come here? Come on, get over here. Zero, get a life. Fast Old Dodge says, hey, Jamie, I'm a newer sub. Great channel. Working on a 74 Dart Sport and a 68 New Yorker right now. Coming at you from Northeast Ohio. Awesome. Thanks for being here with us. I'm sure I've got some things on the channel that will be of use to you. Thanks for watching. Seriously? I apologize. But this might just be what things are like now. Ross says, I'm working on a 64 W300 with a stuck throwout bearing. Huh. These things rust in an epic fashion. Sometimes they do. You know what's crazy is the bores in mine in the poly engine looked beautiful. But underneath them, down in the bottom, in the ring lands, the ring grooves, you know what I mean? The rings were rusted solid. Just crazy. Christopher Murdoch says, H. XLMI says, love the Mopar-centric content, but corn dogs and Swedish meatballs are a nice distraction. I like to think so. What do you mean, woof? Why would you woof? I thought you didn't woof. Earlier, I was over by the shop. He was in the yard playing with Zero, and Zero was making obnoxious dog noises, and I heard him just give one big woof, and that was the end of it. Shopcat's here with us and says, good evening, Jamie. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. Evening, Shopcat. Going pretty good. I got some extra shop dog going on right now, so that's fun. But yeah, things are going all right. I mostly took today off. I apologize for repeatedly rubbing my nose. It's like itchy and I don't know what to do about that. Stan Nelson says, loved the A-body video. Sad notches don't get more love. They are my favorite. I just love the fastback. The notch, to me, just doesn't have enough roof, you know? But they're cool. I've owned one. But yeah, I didn't really say much about them. I barely mentioned that they exist. I skipped over a lot of kind of important details in that video. And some people noticed, but broad strokes, that's kind of my style. Moparman67 says, great channel. Oh, yeah, I already saw that one. Apologies if I don't read your comment immediately. I will read it eventually, but sometimes I get behind and it does take a while. So apologies for that. One on Cat feels the same about the Road Toads. Nice. Hank Rudin says, do you just notch the 904-727 bell housing for a crank sensor? Yes. Is the crank sensor air gap sensitive? Yes, on the end. It points at the windows in the flex plate, so that gap has to be right, but it will be right because the crank sensor is bolted onto the block and the flex plate is bolted onto the crankshaft. I mean, that gap, obviously, it can vary a little bit. You know, there's some tolerance there, but I've never had to shim one. Yeah, you just put a notch in there, you use the Magnum flex plate, and then if you're doing that with an old school 727, you will have to oval out one torque converter hole, bolt hole, because those patterns on the Magnum are square. On the LA, they are not square. They're offset due to the balance weight location. But yeah, other than that, it's just that easy. Amy Harville says, since the Jeep was originally AMC, doesn't that make it Chrysler's redheaded stepchild, hence a Mopar? That's kind of what I alluded to in the video. So it's so complicated. I kind of want to do a video on the history of Jeep, but I think it's been done, so I don't know if I will. But I find it fascinating because Jeep, the original Jeep design was by Bantam, whatever. And someone mentioned that in a comment on the Jeep video, the Wagoneer video. I know, it just, I didn't think to explain all that. Anyway, it was a Bantam design. that Willys was given the contract to produce, and then Ford, so there are many military Jeeps made by Ford. Willys put them into production as the CJ after the war. Then Willys got eaten by Kaiser. And then Kaiser Jeep, as it became, because Kaiser stopped making cars, they just made Jeeps, so they were Kaiser Jeep. They got eaten by AMC, but not until 1970. So technically, that Wagoneer was built under AMC production, but it's still the old model with the pre-AMC engine. They didn't get AMC engines again until 1972. So it's only kind of an AMC. So yeah, it's a few steps removed, but I'd still call it an honorary Mopar. Why not? Definitely a redheaded stepchild for sure. Bob says, I watch all your videos. They're sometimes informative, sometimes hilarious, and quite possibly both. Thanks for that, Bob. Appreciate that. Brent Forte says, I always hit the thumbs up. Damn it. When are we going to see Chili Dogs and Demon? On Dine and Drive with Jamie. Meatballs and Jeep was entertaining, but not as good as Corn Dogs and Charger. I totally agree. It just happened to be what I had, so it is what it is. Chili Dogs and Demon. I don't think I would do a chili dog. It's really messy. And despite not really being good at taking care of my stuff, I do try not to make horrible messes in the Demon. I have eaten a cheeseburger in it, though. Bell James says, Jeep is honorary Mopar. Yeah, that was an apt description, and I will use it for the few cool AMCs and all Jeeps. Well, there you go. Works for me. Christopher Murdoch says, on the A-Body video, have you seen Hopeless Car Guy's History of Cars videos? No, but I'll have to check him out. Hopeless Car Guy. Navistar International Harvester. He's got 6,800 subscribers. Small cars of the early 60s. So there's probably some overlap there. Oh, wow. And that video, he doesn't have very many subscribers, but that got 82,000 views. So something tells me he's going to have a whole lot more subscribers pretty quick. Cool. No, I'll check out his channel. I'm pretty into that kind of stuff, especially because I do so much driving now. I need listenable stuff. And that's the point of having a podcast type video, You could just listen to it. What do you mean, woof? Come on. Hey, Beef. Come on. Just leave him alone. He's sad enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good boy. Yeah. That's a good boy. Why don't you lay down? Why don't you do that? Nathan's Mopar Garage dropped in. Hello, Nathan's Mopar Garage. How you doing? Lovejoy says, I can tell the Brat video is getting big because I'm starting to get comments from people who didn't watch the whole video. Welcome to it, my friend. You're going to get a lot of that. We got to do a check-in on Lovejoy. Let's see. Here we go. Free van! Free van! I can't believe it's only got 140 views. Yeah, 7,700 views. Cool. Yeah, it's the kind of video that can get some attention. And sometimes it just takes a while, Most of my really my popular videos, the ones that have tons and tons of views, didn't happen overnight. Took a while. But yeah, the more people that see it, the worse the comments will be. Spitfire Mike says, I'm still trying to figure out why Vice Grip Garage is so popular. I think he's lame. He's cheesy, but he's talented and he knows what he's doing. He's putting on an act. He's putting on a show. And the thing is, people have things to say about that, but he has millions and millions of subscribers. And his videos get zillions of views. And the other thing is, people tell me I'm obnoxious and unoriginal, and my voice is stupid, and I'm an idiot, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and I should stop making videos. But I keep doing it in spite of that. So I understand. I've been hearing a lot of people say that recently, but I just, no channel is for everyone. So I get it. And yeah, what he does is cheesy, but he's also a genuinely good guy. So in my book, that's worth a lot. And as a video creator myself, and not even on that level. I have at least a bit of a clue what goes into making this stuff, and I could never like come out criticizing someone else doing it. Like, oh my God, it is not easy. What? You're so pathetic now. Will C says, I'm working on getting my 71 Demon ready to drive to Rod Run at the end of the world in September. I was talking about that show, I think, last week. I would like to do that. I've been meaning to do that for years. Yeah. Last year, I just happened to be coming back from that direction. I don't even remember why. I was down there to fix a Ford, an IDI Ford of all things. But anyway, on the way back, I saw a 71 Demon, 72 Demon? It was a 72 Demon 340 on a trailer coming back from Rod Run, and it was a big moment for me. Of course, I wasn't in mine, but it was pretty cool. I hope that the stars align and I actually get there this year. It's a really cool show. If you guys don't know about it, it's neat. Yep. Nathan's Mopar Garage says, we went crazy distances and drove home before YouTube got big. The hell are you doing? Zero's got a dog food bag stuck on his head. Robert Gentler says, was doing it 40 years ago, pre-YouTube. Yep. I was doing it 15 years ago, long before I did YouTube. Empty Pockets Garage says the same thing. Can't really stand him. He was okay in the beginning, but he's becoming too mainstream. Yeah, he's a victim of his own success. If he stops doing what he's doing, what's going to happen to his viewership? It's literally his livelihood. I mean, I don't know this to be a fact, but that dude is probably a millionaire by now. If doing something a certain way made you a millionaire, would you stop doing it because some internet commenters told you that you were lame or generic or mainstream or annoying? I don't know. Let's all ask Whistler Diesel. Dana Marion's here with us and says, hello from Northwest Georgia, everybody. How you doing, Dana? That appears to be a GTX. I think those are dual headlights, so 67. Hard to tell. Pretty cool. Lots of people in Georgia tonight. Very interesting. And Lovejoy says, Magnum wiring guide. Oh, hell yeah. I thought you'd appreciate that. Oh, yeah. Donnie and Amy actually met Derek, and they said he was a cool dude. Just saying, like, cheesy as he may be, annoying as he may be, I'm cheesy sometimes. I'm annoying. I hear it all the time. You know, you cannot appeal to everybody, but he appeals to a lot of people. And as near as I can tell, he is a genuine, real good guy and a patriot. And that's all I have to say. I think I already said that once. I guess I had more to say. Dan Tupper says, we end up naming all our vehicles. It helps keep the herd ironed out. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Oh, this is the Woof live stream. Winter Joel wants to know, what's the difference between 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72 Chargers? Well, I have a video about this that discusses the 3 different generations of early Charger. Brother, chill. 68, open grille, round taillights, round side markers. Taillights are knocked off of a Corvette. Rear window design is knocked off of a Chevelle. That's fine. 69, same grille but with a center divider, long taillights that mimic the tail shape, rectangular side markers. 70, same as 69 almost, except wraparound grille and wraparound bumper and open grille again, but it does have a center line going horizontally. Also, they changed the interior quite a bit, which I don't like. 71, they totally redesigned the car. It's no longer... Well, it is still Coke bottle shaped, actually. In fact, it's almost more Coke bottle shaped, but it's more fuselage designed. The roof blends right into the quarter panel like a duster, sort of. They have a reverse teardrop shaped window. They have a wraparound bumper with a chrome center divider, so there are dual grills. Not all of them have hideaway headlights, unlike every Charger before 71, but some of them do, and they're very cool. They have a special side marker. It's 2 horizontal lines. Is the Chevelle 2 vertical lines? So yeah, I think the Charger's 2 horizontal lines, but it's pretty cool. And the RTs have super cool taillights. There are several different taillight designs. And the rear bumpers wrap around too. 72, they changed the side markers. 72 SE has a different side window. They changed the grille. They changed the taillights. And all the cool models were gone except for the Rally. Hopefully that answers your question. Donnie wants to know, did you name him Zero after the ghost dog from Nightmare Before Christmas? Yes, we did. If so, that's epic. Rocket Tom says, hi, everybody. Quick check-in tonight. Have to get the field mode. Well, yeah, the lawnmower's fixed, so you better get to it. The tractor, that is. Falling in love with that Wagoneer. Need to see if I can get it running from the gas tank this week. Oh, yeah, for that long distance. All Classics Restoration is with us again. It says, hi, Jamie. Hope all is well in your world. Editing video now, so I'll be listening more than commenting. Man, I don't know how you can listen while editing video. I just got to focus on it. But thanks for dropping in anyway. I appreciate that. I've actually been talking to All Classics Restoration some this week. He asked me for a little input on his channel, and I was happy to give it. So, yeah, he took a bit of my advice. I hope it helps. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm enjoying some success. So hopefully my advice is worth something. 92 of you out there, if you have not hit like on the stream, please do that, because it does stuff for the thing with the dealy mabob. Really appreciate it. And if you have any technical questions, feel free to drop them, or any comments like this one from Uncle Tony's Garage, which says, you've become my favorite car channel on YouTube. Don't tell Steve Maggs. I won't. I love Steve Maggs. He's the best. I love his model stuff. I follow him on Instagram and watch all that. He is brilliant. I wish I knew 8% of what he knows about classic cars. So I won't tell. But anyway, Tony says, for some reason, I can't stop myself from yelling at the TV every time you don't get something exactly right. Thank you. Please continue to do that. Hey, if you check your Gmail, you will find a link to join my StreamYard session right now. I'm just saying. Just putting it out there. No pressure. I'm just saying. Thanks for dropping in, Tony. I really appreciate your reviews. If you haven't noticed, you've been a bit of an influence on how I approach these cars. So, just saying. Rocket Tom also says, my son Brad saw an Autobot sticker on a truck on the way home, and I'm trying to convince him Decepticons aren't going to invade Earth. How can you be so sure? I don't understand. Good stuff. Mostly Mopar says, Middle Georgia is about 100 miles south of Newton County. God. Which is where Hazard was in the early TV show. Nice. Blake Gaddis says, do a Magnum swap on the Jeep wagon and the video will gain momentum. I'm not going to do that because the Buick engine is great. And that's the thing. Like, a couple people said, put a Chevy in it or whatever. I really legitimately like Buick engines. They're great. I just do. But, that could happen someday. P38 Chris. Yes, I mentioned this. Did you get the marketplace listing I sent you in Idaho for a 60 Valiant? Yes, I did. I'm not going to drive to Idaho to get a 60 Valiant. I'm just not going to do it. But yeah, I checked it out. That's pretty cool. I need to find one closer to home. I can't travel that far. It's a problem. But that was cool. But I said toward the beginning of this live stream that it was really funny how I posted that video and I said I hope to find one someday. And in very short order, I got a link to one for sale. So thanks for that. Ross says, did they make a Valiant wagon? Yes, they did. My wife and I owned a 63. I think I mentioned this. Might have mentioned this in the chat last week. I can't remember. 63 was slant 6 only. So to fit a V8, the firewall is kind of in the way. So there's a section of it you either have to beat with a hammer or cut out. On our car, that was cut out and covered with duct tape. So cool. But it was a 360. It had a floor shift torque flight, and it was cool. It was a rusty piece of garbage. Those were made, I believe they had them in 60. I'm not totally sure on that, but I know there are early Valiant wagons. Pretty sure they started in 60 and they ended in 66. There were no wagons in the next body style, 67 to 76. And there were very few convertibles and no Valiants. Rippler Brr wants to know, wondering if you would ever do a meet and greet event for local viewers or meet and greet barbecue like Uncle Tony's. Yes, we have talked about doing that. Oh no. Tony says, dude, I would, but I'm sick as a dog. Cut our own live stream short tonight in favor of a swig of NyQuil. Damn it. We'll get... I can't talk. Get well soon, brother man. Man, I remember you always get the crud and it just sticks with you for like weeks. That's terrible. Take it easy. I hope to chat with you soon. Really looking forward to it. Anyway, someone else said Uncle Tony in a comment. That's what made me come down to check. Oh yeah. The meet and greet. Yes, Ripper. Yes. We've talked about doing that. I think it would probably be Portland, Vancouver area because that seems to be where the most local viewers are at. But Tom also offered to do one at Rocket Restorations, which would be amazing. That's in Olympia. So it's kind of central, Portland, not a super long drive. Seattle, not a super long drive. It's an hour drive for me, but that may be what we do. And we may try to do something in the Portland area as well. It's definitely in the plan. I've just got so much going on. I haven't had time to think about that, but I definitely want to. So yeah, I certainly hope to meet some of you guys in person before too long. Kelly Smith is with us again and says, yay, I just remembered it's Sunday. Oh, good. I hope you don't mind, but I mentioned, I didn't, mention your real name or anything, but I mentioned you were in the hospital. I read that you had another mini stroke and that sucks, man. I hope you feel better soon and get some answers on that. But thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. K-Man Weisenbach's with us again. It says, howdy there. I finally made it. I'm sorry I missed the past couple weeks. That's okay. It's in your permanent record, but I wouldn't worry about that. I've been wondering, do any of the Jeep 8 1/4 sure grip stuffs work with the rest of Chrysler's 8 1/4 axles? Well, okay. If it's Chrysler 8 1/4, it's Chrysler 8 1/4. And you can get 8 1/4 gear sets in good ratios that weren't in A bodies or F bodies because that axle was used for so long in trucks. If they put it in Jeeps, yes. Every Jeep I've ever messed with was Dana. So I just don't know what Jeep has 8 1/4. I have no idea. But if it's a Chrysler 8 1/4, yes, the guts, as far as I know, should interchange just fine. My 8 1/4 sure grip in my Barracuda, garbage can CUDA was almost certainly originally for a truck like that. Morris Bacon says, the first clutch I changed was in a 63 Valiant. I proceeded to install the pressure plate backwards. Or the disc? I don't know how you can install the pressure plate backwards, but you can put the disc in backwards. That's a cool trick. So I did it all over. Good thing the 3-speed transmission is relatively light, sort of. What? What are you even doing? He's so dramatic. He doesn't want to be in frame. He just doesn't want to be on camera. I'm sorry, Beef. I'm sorry. I'll respect your privacy. Donnie says, what is or was the most anus Mopar you ever worked on? Most anus. Maybe that nasty beach wagon I tried to revive that was seized solid. God, I can't think of a really, really good answer for that. I'm sure I've seen a few. Uncle Tony says XJ 8 1/4. Okay, so the XJ. Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought they all had dinky Danas, but apparently some XJs had 8 1/4s, and they're good to swap with car units. Yep, perfect. See, it's great having someone around that has half a clue to answer questions like that. Yeah, I have never owned an XJ. I've owned 7 ZJ Grand Cherokees, and they were almost all free. Good stuff. I love the square XJ, though. So does my wife. She needs one someday. Yeah, Donnie, okay. I once revived a 73 Challenger out at the ranch that a shed had fallen on, and the roof was like bad. That was a good one. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on what the worst one could have been. Damn it, boy! Rod Shop says, we have a 64 Dodge D100 swept line short bed with a factory 318 poly and push button auto. Awesome. Cool. I had a 70 D100 short bed that was cloned with 64 parts. So it was a big back window, but it had the early hood and grill and all that. And I really liked that little truck. I actually drag raced that truck on an airstrip once, and it had the most horrible wheel hop I have ever experienced. And that was long before I really knew anything. Now I understand why that's a thing. But anyway, it was still fun. Very fun. Just not so good on the burnouts. My friend has that truck now. But yeah, I have the 64 W200 Power Wagon, and I really like that thing. That's the greenish monster. It's a 318 poly. I got it unseized, but it would only turn about 30 degrees. So last week, my friend Dave and I pulled one head, looked in there. There's no rust. I soaked all the cylinders. Didn't do a damn thing for me. We finally pulled the other head, my friend Dave and I. No rust. Okay. So we dropped the pan. And we decided for whatever reason, it was either 5 or 8. Those two cylinders, pistons were both near the top. And it was when they were starting to go down or whatever that it would seize up. So we pulled 5 out. Didn't really help. We pulled 8 out, and all of a sudden it kind of turned. We pulled 7 out, and it turns perfectly. So that's how I ended up breaking a poly piston. Good times. I apologize for giving Uncle Tony's comments top billing. But he says the late XJ, the 97-01, is absolutely mankind's greatest achievement. And I'd have a really hard time disagreeing with that. Really would. I'll have one someday. My friend Connor has a 93 or 4 with no dashboard. What else is missing from that truck? It's got a nice lift on it, horrible rotted tires, no dashboard whatsoever. The key switch broke. We ended up bending the steel rod that goes to the tumbler and using it like that to start it. It's got a toggle for the blower motor. And while you're going down the road, you can watch the speedo cable spin at you. And that thing it's pretty good off-road. Anyway, I like them. I'm a fan. 12 Bravo says, funny how I don't watch the big car channels anymore. Oh, that's cool. It's like shopping with small businesses, you know? It's awesome. I do appreciate having you, watching my stuff and commenting on all the videos. It means a lot because there are a lot of car channels out there. A lot. Do we have to do this? Come on, man. Take a nap or something. Oh, yeah. That's a good beef. One-Eyed Cat says they did make some wagons in 60 and 1 and 2. Yeah, I just didn't know if it started in 60. I wasn't totally sure on that. For some reason, I thought I read something that said 60 was sedan only. Or maybe they just didn't have the 2-door hardtop yet. Maybe that was it. I'm not clear on that, but I've seen the early Valiant wagons. I know they exist. Kelly Smith says, no way, your videos are great. You touch on all the important stuff like you read minds. Gotta admit, though, I love me some Vice Grip Garage, too. His videos are cool. Yeah, I really think so. I watch his stuff. I don't usually make it to the end of his videos, but I watch a bit. There are a couple major car channels I keep up with. Vice Grip is one of them. Uncle Tony's Garage. And I'm not just saying that because he's here. I really do. I watch all of his stuff. There are so many small channels, and it's awesome. And I have friends who have small car channels, and I check in with some of them here or there, but I just have a hard time keeping up with that many things. I don't really have the bandwidth for it. So Yeah, Vice Grip is one I watch. I don't watch every single video, I guess. I shouldn't say that. I don't watch every single video, but I keep up with what he's doing. I just like him. I think he's a good dude. Good boy. I think he's doing good stuff to help the car community. And he's a stand-up individual. But thanks for that. I do appreciate the compliment, of course. And Donnie says, Derek is a genuinely nice guy in person. He loves interacting with fans. But I believe he's using some of the roadworthy rescue crew to do some of the shots now, which I don't care. Really? Interesting. I haven't noticed a difference in how he's filming the YouTube stuff. John Mullen says, so you work at a Pacific Northwest Mopar shop. Does your boss happen to run around in a kangaroo suit and slap you around? I'm going to go ahead and assume that's a Graveyard Cars thing. I actually almost applied there like 10 years ago. And then I decided, I don't want to relocate. But they put out a call for technicians. And at that time, I'd done enough stuff that I could have told you the fuel sending unit wire is blue. And, the hex size of a bunch of bolts in the car. And so I probably could have gone to work there, but I didn't want to move to Oregon. So, Rodney Bird says Central Georgia checking in. Awesome. So many people in Georgia. I'm really surprised by that. 12 Bravo says, my wife says I'm annoying. Don't feel bad. My wife doesn't say it, but there's this look she gives me. Yeah, it says everything that needs said. Uncle Tony's out. Good night, Uncle Tony. Feel better soon. Appreciate you being here. That is, it's just cool. Really do appreciate it. I wouldn't lie about something like that. Dana Marion says, oh, okay, 67 satellite. But what? Oh, more scritches? You need more scritches? 67 satellite, not a GTX satellite. 383 automatic factory, now 440 automatic. Cool. Awesome. Similar animal, different name. The satellite, of course, in that year is a special car too. So good stuff. TNT Mopar Performance is with us and says, working on a 67 Dart. Started it up and the alternator gauge was normal at idle, but I held throttle at probably 2,000 RPMs, gauge pegged out to H, and now can't get it to charge again. More than likely, your voltage regulator is bad. It's interesting. It pegged. Usually what happens is the regulator is just not regulating. It's not doing that thing it's supposed to do. And so you'll rev it and it'll just peg it high and stay there, and it'll go up with revving, but it won't do what it's supposed to do. I would look at the voltage regulator. That's going to be the most likely thing. There are wiring things to check. I have a video on classic Chrysler charging systems. And if you have questions, go ahead and check that out. I think all the information you can need will be there. Rooster dropped in a while ago and said, nobody move. I dropped my brain. Okay. But I think I moved since then, so I apologize. Bell James says, I like Vice Grip. If a person doesn't, they shouldn't watch. And I feel the same way about my stuff. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the board and just enjoy it for a moment. Bob says, wow, it does seem like the Georgia contingent is in the house tonight. Hey, y'all from Canton. Or Canton. Canton? I don't know, however they say it. Brent Forte wants to know, can you just replace the cast crank in the 73 340 with one out of an early one? Are the strokes different? No, stroke is exactly the same. It's very, very similar. Just drop it in there. You'll be good. Sorry, I say you'll be good. You have to rebalance it, and you can't use the external balance weight on the converter or the factory harmonic balancer. You have to change to a neutral one. But dimensionally, they're the same. Same bearings, same stroke, everything. Okay. If you manage to break the cast crank, well done. They hold for quite a while. But, yeah. Rooster didn't get an invite. I mean, it's the same time every week. P30 Chris says, Uncle Tony's one of my favorites. I actually found both your channels at the same time when I first got my 64 Dart. Nice. That's cool. Okay. Okay. You get plenty of love. I mention you all the time. What do you want? I don't want to hear any complaining from you. Alan's Cars and Stuff is also in Georgia. Nice. Yeah. Everybody's in Georgia. That's the lesson tonight. Timothy Russell says, yeah. What are your thoughts on using your old fuel line as a return and adding a new 3/8 line? Do you know of any good videos on this? I don't know of any good videos on it, but that's perfect thing to do. So yeah, there you go. I didn't say you're not cool. Uncle Tony teased me with doing a live on his channel, but I haven't heard back from his people yet. It's almost like they're busy or something. So just randomly, I sent him an email before I went live with a link and said, hey, you get done with yours, just hop on over. And so it's just funny that he dropped in here, but apparently he's feeling like garbage. So I've had both of you guys on lives. So, and my sister like 3 or 4 times, sometimes against my will. So I'm just saying, always with the complaining. Yeah. Lame, nice guy or not. And again, that's fine. And that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. You don't have to like him. I still do. I get your point of view, but I'm not here to, okay. I'm not here to trash talk other channels. Mopar Benny says you could meet during the Portland swap meet. Probably true. When's that? I have no idea. Oh, yeah, you said that was happening. Rooster says, my Harley got featured on Red Rider's channel today. Cool. Awesome. Send me a link to that. I think you sent me, maybe that is what you sent me earlier. I didn't have a chance to watch it. Yeah. Okay. Yep. You sent me that. I was filming something else then, and I saw it pop up and go, okay, cool. But I didn't actually see that's what it was. Cool. I'll check that out after the live. Phantom Pinecone is here and was the 69th like. Nice. 8080 out there now. I apologize for the whining dog. Not much I can do about it. He's just sad. But anyway, tell me how you really feel. Do you need to go potty? You've been out 17 million times. If you pee on the floor, I won't blame you, okay? It won't be your fault. That'll be a forgivable sin. Oh, yeah. Good beef. Yeah. Anyway, nice. If you haven't liked the stream, please do that because it does stuff for the thing with the deal. Ross says those 70-ish Buick 350s are killer engines. Friend had a 69 GS and another a 71 Skylark with the GS engine. Good runners. Yeah. Yep. That's what it is. GS, Skylark, the smaller Buicks. That's what they would have. I think I mentioned this in the video. I'm a big fan of the 430. I love the 430. And of course, the 455. Most of them are lower compression. I did a bunch of reading on it when I had my 67 Buick Electric 225. And people seem to agree that the 430 is great, decent power, and good fuel mileage. And that was my experience. I just really, really liked it. It gave me a great opinion of the Buick engine. So yeah, my sister says if there's a meet and greet at some point, I offer my services to video/stream the event. All right, cool. I will keep that in mind. Hank Reardon says many XJs have the 8 1/4, lots of 8 1/4 sure grips in first gen Dakotas. Yep, that's what I was thinking was the Dakotas. Yep, and Uncle Tony, of course, said that, which I put up already. Good to know. I haven't played with a lot of XJs. I know they have the Wee Dana front ends. I just figured they were all Wee Dana rear ends. So, learning. I'm not surprised. They are Chrysler products. Rippler says, right on. Your channel's right there with the Uncle Tony and Steve Maggs. Keep making great shows. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Those guys are much, much more well-known than I am. So if I get mentioned in the same sentence, that's really exciting. So I appreciate it very much. Okay. This is good to know. And again, I said as far as I know, because I am not an expert. Rodney says the late 8 1/4s have an axle spline change around 97. Before that, they go all the way back to the late 60s. Okay. They actually made them in the late 60s? I didn't think they came around until like 71 or 2-ish, but why would you do that? What's your deal? Come on, why don't you lay down or something, man? Take a load off. I should have brought you a toy. Why didn't I do that? I don't have any dog toys. Man. Anyway, I thought they were an early 70s thing, but I don't know what model they started in either. So, yeah. 12 Bravo says, old guys know. Take your word on that. XLMI wants to know, do you know where to find a 64 Dodge 330 torsion bar crossmember and right rear frame rail? Thank you in advance. There are other bodies that will have those same parts, but I would contact Wildcat Auto Wrecking in Oregon, and they can probably get you that. Timothy Russell says, I want to add a return fuel line on my 70 Roadrunner with an Edelbrock Carter carburetor. Were you the one that was asking the question about the fuel line? For some reason, I got distracted, and I don't think I did not finish that thought. Yes, that was you. I would really appreciate if you never did that again. Ever. Just don't do it. Just never make that sound. But yeah, anyway, yes. Out of the 3/8 line, leave the 5/16 line there. You need a different sending unit with the 3/8 sending unit and the return. I think the return is often 1/4 inch. Not totally sure on that. But yeah, you might have to do some adapting. But change the sending unit and add that 3/8 line. It is a tight fit. Now, I've done this recently for fuel injection conversions. How do you even make that sound? How? Jesus. I've done this recently in a 67 Coronet convertible for a fuel injection conversion. And having both of them in there was a tight fit, but it works. So yes. And yeah, the return line's probably the way of the future. I've been having fuel boiling problems with the Edelbrock too. Dave says, worst car is the A-body you guys crunched like a taco by standing on it. Oh! The flag clip. Yes, the Swampy Scamp, or Salty Scamp, whatever Joe called it. The Scamp I parted out. That was the most anus one for sure. No question. Holy crap. Also, I forgot, Dave sent me a picture, and it was that plate I was talking about in the console. You got to stop doing that. Come on. Do you want to, come up here or something? Is that a thing that you do? No? You don't? You want to come up here? You want to come up here? You want to come up? Yeah? I can pick you up. Come on. Come here. No? You don't want to? Okay. His little legs are so stumpy, he just can't jump. But yeah, that 73 Scamp that just fell apart by breathing on it. It's funny you should mention that because the 72 Swinger that was in the picture for today's post about the live stream, I'm between posting that and coming on here, I put the rear bumper and trunk lid off that Scamp, which are the only parts I have left of it on that Swinger. G-Babaluba says, Sleeper Dude likes old Mopars and has done quite a few of them this year. I just found out about him. He's got quite a few subs. And a couple commenters on the Magnum video, which I released super late today. So I'm going to go ahead and check in on. Last I saw it was 800-something views. 1,200? Yeah, it's not bad for a super, super late Sunday afternoon video. Scotch lock all the way, baby. W. Barney. I get comments from him on every video, but he said Scotch locks. Please don't use Scotch locks. Anyway, a couple commenters informed me that Sleeper Dude had put a Magnum in a motorhome, and he was having control system problems. He used a Durango as the donor, and he had a chip key security stuff, so it wouldn't run. Then they said he was still having problems. It looked like he got it figured out, but anyway, I started watching his video. I didn't have time to finish it, but cool. Pretty cool stuff. I put one in a van, so seeing his picture of it sitting there inside the doghouse, I was like, yeah, this feels like home. But putting it in an actual motorhome is a really interesting idea. In that van, I've mentioned this, I have gotten 17.5 miles a gallon with the Magnum and the 4-speed overdrive, not even using the overdrive gear. I've gotten 17 miles a gallon. So it's a great idea. Really great idea. Rocket Tom says, Graham Washington show is coming up August 20th. Meet and greet? I won't rule it out. That sounds like fun. I need to start getting to these shows. I just haven't. It's just one of those things I never do. Okay, so and then the next comment from Tom, I'll get back to Lovejoy's, but Tom says, I'll be at Sunbus, the Graham show, hoping to have the 71-392 Hemi Challenger done for it. Yes, that is our goal. And of course, that's my main project at Rocket right now. I'm really hoping that does happen. And if the Challenger's going to the show, I think I'd have to go to like stand next to it and gloat. So yeah, that might be cool. I'd be down for that. Would you stop? I might have to take a Dead Dodge Garage car too, though. Lovejoy says, loved your podcast format, made for good listening at work. Yeah, that was exactly the idea. I listened to tons of stuff like that, and I thought I have an opportunity here to make something listenable. I have the recording equipment. I have a studio. I have some knowledge. I don't know everything, but I thought I could put it together. I thought it went pretty well. I will tell you right now, it took so much time to make that video. It took me hours to record. It's made out of over 100 short clips because I just can't I have to repeat. I have to record again and again and again to get it right. So that alone took me 2 days. And then putting the graphics together, which everyone wants way more of. I just can't talk. Took another 3 days. Am I not allowed to talk? What's your problem? Should have brought you snacks. It's messed up. Anyway, cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. The response was largely positive. I'm sure I'm going to do more. I have a lot of ideas for those. Yeah. I can't do one once a week. It takes so much work. Bi-weekly at best, probably more likely to be a monthly series or just an occasional series, but we'll see. Michelle Perez is here and says, Sucky Sacramento, checking in. Nice. Rex Keen is here as well. Rex Keen, another name I recognize from lots of comments on all kinds of videos, so thank you for that. Rex says, hey, Jamie, checking in from just north of you. Hope, BC, Canada. Just watched your Magnum engine swap wiring harness. Maybe you could contact Sleeper Dude. Yeah, you were one of the ones that commented that, I think. Magnum swapped an RV, struggling bad. I watched his last video and I watched the beginning of it and it looked like he had a successful drive. So I don't know if it broke later in that video or what happened. I didn't have enough time to watch it before coming on. But yeah, may just have to chat with that guy. Bell James says, and one Oklahoman about 90 miles from Weirdbeard. Yeah, was it last week or 2 weeks ago that we were documenting every state and parts of Canada and other parts of the world that were here? We had the whole country covered with at least, the corners of it, the major regions with no problem. Why? Would you just stop? I mean, I could let you out, but then I'm afraid that you and Zero are going to start battling. Dogs. Anywho, where was I at? Amy Harville says, I watch your channel and VGG. I'm not a fan of anyone else. Dylan McCool makes me scream at the TV. You're flooding it. Your ignition wires are backwards. You're cooking the starter. All right, on that last one, I cook starters all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do. I just abuse the hell out of them. But beside that, Dylan McCool's cool. He's got cool cars and stuff. I've watched a good few of his videos. He didn't really hold my interest, but I don't know that there's a particular reason for that. I do apologize for all the dog noises. He's just pathetic. He just hates life. Now all the other dogs hate life, so that's good. Oh, Rooster says, I was late because I was selling my 70 Sport Fury. Done deal. Nice. Congrats. My sister says it's about time for her to invade again. That's her showing up, driving all the dogs crazy. Jesus. Might be my brother coming home. Maybe he can let the dog out. Rooster's Rest says, Rooster says, why did I read the whole name? I don't know. Jesus. Dogs. Rooster says, we love you and reserve the right to give you shit. It's in our contract. Hold on, I have to send a message. Okay, done. Mopar Benny says, swap meet first weekend in April. April's a long time from now. Only Cat 8 says, got a cattle dog. Used to the chatting. Yeah, we have a 2-part cattle dogs. They're usually not as annoying as Beefcake is being. I got you this. It's a dog.
Thank you. It's just what I've always wanted.
He was super chill for a while, but now he's sad. Mm-hmm. Thanks for taking that dog. I didn't even hear her get home. So sneaky. My sister says, as his big sister, I'm basically required to flip him shit. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, Tom said, hopefully Rooster's Fury goes to a good home. Wish it was closer. Yeah, same thing. If it was near to me, I'd be really excited about it. But Rooster's a bit of a drive. I know I've said this, and I stand by it. I think I won a 70 Sport Fury. I really like him. They've grown on me. I need to do a 68 because my dad had one, but the 70's better. Donnie says, pretty sure my wife would be mad if I peed on the floor. She would be quite anist. I don't understand how anist works in the different contexts. Because, like, it's an adjective, right? Or is it... I'm at a loss. I'm moving on. Rooster says, that's it. Me and Caitlin are taking over. Grab the pitchforks. Rooster said that Fury is getting restored, so that's great news. Awesome. Dang, bro. I'm not totally sure what the... Oh, probably the dogs. And then he said, your neighbors are going to think someone's getting murdered. Yeah, this happens. Kelly Smith says, your pooch is just asking for more southbound pachyderm. It was the event of last week. I can't do it again for a while. It is my favorite Primus song. As mentioned, I've never been like a huge nutso Primus guy. I can play a bit of Winona's Big Brown Beaver, but that's beside the point. But I really like that one. Rodney Bird says, late 60s for sure. I've seen a 69 Coronet 500 convertible 318 with factory 8 1/4. We swapped a 68 Coronet 4-door hardtop 8 3/4 into it. Also saw a 72 Charger Rally with a 9 1/4 factory. Interesting. See, I didn't know when that one started either. I know they had them in the heavy duty V bodies by the late 70s. You know, the 8 3/4 was long gone by then. Interesting. I know 72, 73 is kind of a weird time. I had a 72 Fury sedan that had an 8 3/4. But then there was another one and it was an 8 1/4. I know some 73s got 8 3/4, but most models, they were gone. So yeah, it's just one of those weird gray area rolling change things that Chrysler was somewhat known for. Amy says if Donnie peed on the floor, he'd be a dead man. I feel like I'd have a little more leeway than immediate death. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to judge. I don't think she'd kill me immediately is what I mean. She would eventually. Curly Joe Robbie says, missed you last Sunday. Your pup sounds like mine when I leave her on the other side of a door. Yeah. I was trying to keep... So that was Beefcake. We're dog sitting Beefcake for my longtime friend of the channel, since it had 3 subscribers, Malls. He's been in a few videos. He was in the 67 Barracuda revival video. He was the one with me when I dropped the slant 6 on the radiator support. How would they know? How would they know? And he was in the, if you guys have seen Wire second gens, that was the first, it was the first video I posted when I actually started the channel. I had done a video called Wire VWs, Wire Volkswagens, a few months earlier, just as a joke. But I did the Wire second gen ones, and then I did my first Power Wagon wiring video, and then that kicked off the channel. So Miles has been here since then. Anyway, that's his dog, Beef. He was at Paws. Miles saw him online and just fell in love with him. Went over, met him, was like, "This is my dog now." And I think it was something like he was between paychecks and he didn't have the whole fee to adopt him. And they were like, "Dude, that's your dog. Get your dog out of here." So it was just super cool. And they've been inseparable since. So this is his first night without him. But he's staying with us and he's got his friend Zero. That's my dog that was on the wrong side of the door. They play hard. They love each other, but I can't leave them unattended because they'll party. Rich Jordan says, how would you deal with a strong stale odor in a long closed-up car without doing an interior gut? In the spirit of your video about not doing a full teardown and enjoying the car. Not from rodents. Vacuum the hell out of it. Ozone is magic. It works really well. They have those car bomb things you can light off. The thing is, the instructions on those say you're supposed to have it running with the AC heater on recirc. And so it draws it in and circulates it through the heat box as well and circulates it through the car. And of course, these cars don't have recirc unless you got air conditioning. So that's not really an option, but you could still light one of those off in there. They're supposed to work pretty well, but vacuum the heck out of everything as much as you can. Spray cleaner on all the panels you can reach. Armor All, you can get the wipes. Meguiar's makes a good one, and it's got a nice scent to it. Mothers, there are a lot of products you can use, but something like that, clean every bit of interior that's cleanable, vacuum every bit of interior that's vacuumable, use some ozone, light off one of those bombs in there. It's kind of the best you can do. But yeah, do as much of that as you can, and then leave the windows down and let it breathe. It should help. Unfortunately, a good bit of the smell could be coming out of the interior materials, and there's only so much you can do about that. TNT Mopar Performance, now this was in response to the charging problem, says, I put a new regulator on it. That was my first thought, but still nothing. Next step I thought about would be pulling the brushes out of the alternator. I'm about ready to throw a one-wire alternator on it. Please watch, and I did mention this. I don't know if you've responded again since, and I apologize for being a bit behind. I don't know if you're still here. This was 10 minutes ago, but please watch my Chrysler Charging Systems video guide. Classic Chrysler Charging Systems. It's something like that. You could do a one wire if you have to, but these are really easy systems to understand. And my personal preference is to leave them stock. They're not hard to figure out. Brushes are possible. I'm not saying that's impossible, but most of the time it's a circuit problem. It's either the regulator or a circuit problem. So in that video, I detail how to full field the alternator. That's how to just crank the charging output from it. And you could try that. The other thing is compare the voltage with the car off or running or both, the voltage on the alternator output stud to the voltage on battery positive. And if there's a major difference there, you lost your firewall connector or something similar. So I give you good tests to do in that video to get to the bottom of it. And it could be alternator. It's possible, but verify all the important circuits first because these problems are not uncommon. I see them all the time, and I get lots and lots of questions about it. I'm going to guess wiring. Stacy says, oh, to answer your question from like an hour ago, vacation was great. A shit ton of driving, but great nonetheless. All of our vacations are a shit ton of driving. They just always are. I like driving. I really do, but I think the next vacation I take, I want to go somewhere and just stay there. Somewhere I can get within about a day and just stay there for a few days because we almost never do that. The closest version to that was when we went to Joshua Tree 2 years ago. We set up the camper and stayed for 2 nights. We never stay anywhere for 2 nights. But yeah, it's always a lot of driving. But that's cool. Excuse me. Rooster says, beef just wants equal airtime. Battle Elf says, Sacktown, which I assume was, what was it? Sucky Sacramento? I'm not trying to badmouth your town. People badmouth my town all the time. It's ridiculous. No Beret is here and says, recently found your channel. Digging it. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you found me and appreciate you having it. Appreciate having you here. And if you are still here, now's a good time to learn about the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, which is you drink anytime I say wrong stuff. Amy says, that dog isn't pathetic, it's possessed. And then Battle Elf said, is that a Frenchie? I don't know. He's some weird kind of mutt. Kelly Smith says, I just finished messing with a Durango 5.9. I had to do the plan and plate repair. Thanks for your videos. Awesome. Yep. And by awesome, I mean, that sucks. I've done a lot of them. I have to say, I am not a fan of that particular engine. It does move the big SUV well, though. I love them with the understanding that they're not perfect. There are problems, mostly the gasket problems and the cracking heads. But, you know, the cracking heads are usually ignorable. And the gasket problems I've dealt with so much, it's annoying, but it's not a big deal for me to fix. So other than those things, I really do like the Magnum engine family. I love the LA, but the Magnum lives. It doesn't wear out the same way the old LA with the iron rings does. They live long, happy lives, usually, except for the aforementioned problems. So I'm a fan. I love them. I like swapping them into things, or at least I did. I've sort of reversed track on that now, but I still have to answer other people's questions about doing it. So I get it, but they're nice running engines usually. Bell James says the dog's trying to imitate me. Yeah, probably. It was funny how he was just talking every time I talked. It's like he's annoyed by my voice or something. Duke Farm 2004 says, looking at buying a 69 Charger soon. Already found the one I'm looking to buy. May need you to fly to the East Coast to help with it. My email address is jamienoise@gmail.com, and I'm not ruling it out. Poor man Speed Shop is with us and says, hey, Dead Dodge Garage, how's your night going? Pretty good. Now the whining dog even left, so things are slightly quieter now. How's it going with you, poor man Speed Shop? What is in your picture? I can't tell. Almost looks like some kind of Datsun product. Yeah, not sure. Hard to tell at this difference. Curly Joe Robbie says, I was working on a DC wire splice after Mice bat charger. Oh, Mice got to the bat charger, I'm assuming. While you were talking about swapping out Magnum wiring stuff. I don't even have a Magnum. You just gave me confidence with my stroke weakened fingers. Well, I'm happy to help in that regard. You just have to dive in, you know? So glad you were able to tackle that. And if I could help in any way, either by distracting you so you could handle a task you didn't really want to deal with, or giving you inspiration, that's great. And I'm happy to help. Dave says it's in. I'm not showing you how. Good, I don't want to know. P38 Chris wants to know, ever repaired cracked steering wheels? I haven't. And I have a cracked one in my Charger. I've given a lot of thought to replacing it, but it's already in there. It's original, so yeah, it doesn't really bother me that much. But I do end up playing with the cracks. I've seen it done with wood filler, and it didn't really turn out nicely. I've also seen people online who have restored them, but I can't tell you how they've done it. I've seen some that turned out really well, but I am not an expert on that. I've never done it. It doesn't really seem like the kind of thing I'd even want to be able to do. It's a little out of my happy place. I like woodworking. I like mechanicking, but that finish work, you know, especially when it's something that you're going to see and touch every single time you get in the car. I don't know if I'm qualified for that. Oh, my wife says, my sister says my wife would just make me clean it up. And then she'd kill me. And 8 minutes ago, Donnie said, I got to get going soon. Got to do some research on parts for bow ties. That's too damn easy. Rooster, I think I told you we have one on the parts car. So Tom should be able to help you with that. I don't know if you've talked to him about it yet or not, but I'm pretty sure it's still there. Pretty sure. And then Rooster said, Donnie, watch your language. This is a family Mopar show. Dave said, must be a new guy that asked you how to clean, because the true answer is, I was going to say, I don't know. I don't do that. But I gave it my best shot. And Tom's got a great point too. If there is a rat's nest under the seat, that can be a great, great source of that smell. Ross added baking soda on the carpet. Yep, that's a great one. Cloth seats and then vacuum. Yep. Oh, and Donnie's back. He forgot his mullet, mustache, and Dale Earnhardt flag. Why would you forget those things? Those are all very important things to have. Why, Chevys? Why? Number one, I hate Corvettes. Mercury Grand Marquis video did better than the Corvette. Well, I think we all learned a valuable lesson. Flammable and inflammable mean the same thing. I promised I wasn't going to use that one anymore, but here we are. Bell James says, take the carpet out, scrub the hell out of it with Resolve, then keep it dry. Put a little electric inside, but I don't know what that means. My sister says the real answer is you pay your sister to clean out and detail the car. Yeah, she has helped me with that before. That's true. She vacuumed all the broken window glass out of my first 67 Barracuda Fastback, funny enough. Oh, there's a good one too. Kelly Smith says a box of cedar chips in the back seat does wonders. Man, I love the smell of cedar. Yeah. I don't know why, but I just realized that Scott Prado hasn't been here in a while to tell me he's not listening. And that's kind of strange. But Dan Berg's here, and he says, sorry I'm late, but hi, everyone. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Glad you made it. I am almost to the bottom of the comments. Pathetic. Nice. So if you have any questions or comments on recent videos, now would be a great time. Oh, Rich Jordan said, okay, cool. That for some reason, that was just my intake from what you said probably wasn't, mouse pee or whatever. It was just the stuff, the musty smell, and that's pretty normal. But anyway, Rich Jordan said, yeah, thanks. I did pull the seats, looked everywhere visible, trunk, under dash, no sign of rodents. It's not a stench. It just smells stale. Yeah, there you go. There were lots of good comments there. Baking soda, I totally forgot baking soda exists. That's a good one. Different ways of getting the smell out. Use some choice product in there and hang a scent tree from the mirror. HDF2 is with us again and says, what up, DDG? The wiring video was interesting. Thanks for explaining the steps and the differences. Awesome. Thank you. I hope it is interesting. Great or not great, I know that video is going to get views. It was super late to go up today, which sucks, but I just had to get it out anyway because there wouldn't be another good day to post it for days, and I want to move on to other things. So I just had to power through, get it done, and post it at like 3 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. But it is getting some views, which is great. That is a video that people have been asking me to do for a long, long time. Oh, here's a comment. Mopar Dude says, thank you, sir. This is your best video ever. I've been curious about doing such a swap for years now, but I always get so frustrated with all the conflicting data there is out there and all the misinformation guys push in some of these forums and groups. On a side note, I found one of the battery sensors on an O2 Dakota I parted out a few years ago. I was like, what the hell is this for? In my case, the Dakota still would start and run after I unplugged it. Okay, cool. Awesome. And another comment from Rex Keen who said more awesome info. Thank you, Jamie. Awesome. So anyway, my point was that's a video that people are going to get a lot of use out of. I still love the Scotch lock comment. That's hilarious. If you guys don't know what Scotch locks are, they're those stupid little plastic squish things that you can add to connect a wire onto another existing wire. They are the worst. Don't use them. Absolute nightmare. Anyway, that video is going to get views again and again for years to come, and it'll end up being one of my most popular. So it's all going to be fine. All Classics Restoration is still with us. It says, well, I've managed to chop 38 minutes of footage down to an 18-minute video. I've done that. That wiring guide I'm referencing that I posted today, did it end up 30 minutes or 28 minutes? 28 minutes and 16 seconds. I chopped that down from 44. So that's not quite as good as what you got going on, but the Wagoneer I chopped down from 42 to 24, I think. 24 or 5. Yeah. Editing. It's such a huge part of all of this. And how you do it is so important, to what the end viewer sees. So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of thinking. Yeah. And no one ever sees that. So anyway, managed to chop 38 minutes of footage down to an 18-minute video, despite your dog causing me to have seizures. Well, I apologize. Hopefully that's a joke. We'll see, which I'm just now getting. Says, just bought one of those China eBay small walk part intakes. Doesn't your brother's Valiant have one? $159 shipped is hard to beat if it fits okay. Yes, he does. We've had a couple of them on various cars. I believe my friend Mike has one on his Magnum as well. And they're fine. They fit nice, but they're dual pattern, so you have to put the plugs in the LA pattern. And that was kind of a pain in the ass, getting to them under the carb thing. I mean, I squeezed them in with channel locks, and some of them were really, really stubborn. So a bit of a trick there. And so help you God if you ever want to take them out and put them on an LA, put that intake on an LA. But yeah, they're good quality. They seem to be just fine despite being extremely cheap. Man, I'm getting a sore throat. I hope it's not around to stay. If I got that bug from Uncle Tony, I'm going to be really upset. Mr. PF Flyer says, it took all weekend, but I finally found my password to my medical portal, which I only use once a year. Been there, done that. Thankfully, Chrome usually does the password magic these days. Rooster says, did you notice my Roadrunner drag car pulling a boat on my thingy? I don't know how I didn't notice. That's amazing. Yeah, you said you had that picture. That's from back in the day. Was that the setup that got kicked out of the car show? Or was that later years? A Rooster also says, I took that pic in 1980. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know why. The colors to me just kind of resembled what you had before. Or did you have that last week, maybe? I don't know, but I didn't think anything of it for some reason. Maybe I had just seen it already. And remember, you don't weigh in, you don't wrestle. Rick Murphy says, love the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, but I'm doing alcohol tonight. Sorry. Infinitely Wise, who is Infinitely Wise, says, just buy a new carpet. They're so cheap, it's not worth all that elbow grease. I'm inclined to agree, but my response was from the perspective of, I don't want to take this interior part. I don't want to take the seats out. And trimming carpet isn't a big deal if you have a few hours to do it. I've done several of them, but again, you got to take your seats out. You got to do the thing. You got to, anything you find under the carpet you didn't know was there, you got to address that. Then get the carpet in, trim the carpet, make sure everything fits, make sure it sits nice. Might have to use a little heat, put holes in it, make all your seat belts fit, make your seats fit again, mount your seats. That's a pain in the ass. So yeah, he just said without disassembling the interior. So that's why I said it like that. That's why my answer was stinky stuff and vacuuming. But yes, the smells could well be in the carpet, and if your carpet's ratty, they are not expensive, and it's a great investment. There is just nothing like fresh carpet to bring your interior together. It's money well spent. But I do always try to approach things from the perspective of, if you don't have to, don't. Everything to me is that now. And part of that's because I just don't have time. John Mullins is with us and says, really enjoy your channel. Just watched the Magnum wiring episode. Very informative. A big eye-opener was the roller versus flat tappet cost episode. Huge cost difference. Yeah, that's why I made that video. I wanted to articulate that point to people who are looking at all this flat tappet stuff and going, why would you ever do a flat tappet? You can't do a flat tappet. You need to do a roller. Only roller. Rollers don't bother. Okay, cool. But no roller conversion engine is a low buck engine. It just isn't. So I'm more interested in, like all things, trying to make the old school way work, trying to make the flat tappet live, and trying to get to the bottom of why it's such a problem. And I have learned a lot about it. Since I made that series of videos, I have learned a ton, and I could make a whole other video about it. And I may do that when I gather my thoughts and take some notes down. But yeah, the roller conversion is a huge expense. You can't just buy the cam kit. That is the most expensive part, but you can't just buy the cam kit and assume it's going to work. You need custom push rods. You can do the adjustable rockers. That helps. The thrust button. In our case, we needed a special timing kit because it was the 3-bolt. Timing cover has to be modified or changed. Like, there's just a lot to it. So, yeah. I'm glad you got something out of that. I hope others have too. P38 Chris says, no, anybody in the Pacific Northwest who'd be able to fix a warped A-body hood. I don't. And the thing is, generally, they're not hard to come by. www.wildcatautorwrecking.instagram, Facebook, phonebook.net. They also literally have a website, but I don't know if it's Wildcat Auto Wrecking. It probably is. But anyway, I would say probably just replace it. I understand if it's like the original paint, you want to save that. I get it. But most A-body parts are not expensive. So I would be more inclined to just replace it. I wouldn't know anyone that could do that. I don't really know any great body paint guys around here or brilliant metal workers. My friend Mike's good at fabricating stuff, but I just saw a comment. And my entire brain farted. Anyway. Yeah, I don't. Sorry, Chris, I don't. Donnie says, never left, sucker. Yeah, I already knew that. Other than your 68 Charger, what other Mopar would you like to obtain? Okay, so I have what I call the short list. The short list always started 68 Charger. Then it went 67 Barracuda Fastback. And it's 67, not 68, because the taillights and the grills are better. Generally, across the board, I prefer 68 Mopars, but the Barracuda was best, in my opinion, in 67. It's just flawless. I like the 68 side markers, but I like the 67 car. I like the trim better, too. But you couldn't get a 340, so there's that. 273, 4-speed, 67 Fastback. That's the one for me. And I own one, so that's cool. I mean, two of my bucket list cars are here right now. Next used to be a 68 Dodge Dart. That was next. But I've kind of changed on that. It's now 70 Dart Swinger. I still like the 68, but I already have a 68 Charger. And the appeal of the 68 Dart to me was it's kind of like a Charger, but smaller. And it's really not. You don't need to read into that too much. But I just thought, it's 68. 68 is my favorite year, especially in the Charger. 68 Dart, that's the one I need. And I like the grill. But I had a 70. That was one of the cars in my formative years when I was learning and making big mistakes. And now I want another 70 Swinger. That's the one for me. So those are the top three. Now, not far below that, I put 70 Challenger, but I don't really need one. I owned a Challenger for a time, and I realized I don't really like them. So it would be cool, but yeah. So I already have two of those. I am trying to sell the 67 Barracuda I have. I would like a nicer one. You may notice that Duster or Demon was not on that short list. And yet I have one of those as one of my flagship cars, one of my actually decent cars, but it wasn't on my short list. I have no explanation for that. I paid a lot of money for it and I'm happy about it. But yeah, I am actively is the wrong word because I can't afford it, but I really do want another 70 Swinger. I don't care what engine. I don't care what transmission. I don't care what interior. I would love a Sweetheart Cherry slant 6 column shift automatic bench sheet. It could be green interior for all I care. I don't like green interior, but it could be that. And I would be super happy. But it's got to be a 70 swinger, 2-door swinger. Oh, there's one more, and I forgot. And actually, it edged out Challenger quite a while ago. And that's 1955 Chrysler C300. I'm a big fan of the original 300. I have a model or a die-cast there. I have a smaller die-cast there. I have a model there, but it's actually a 56. Sorry, my finger in real life doesn't actually point to the right spot on the shelf. There's my die-cast. There's the small one. There's the model. Anyway, I'm super, super big on the 55 C300. I had a deal lined up for one like a year ago, and somehow I have never had the money for it. I'm pretty sure it's still listed. I think it's still in the guy's garage. I really want that. Not that I have space or money for it. Brent Forte wants to know, what do you like more, rust converter, rust encapsulator, or both? I think they both have their place. I've used both. Donnie says, leave us with some Coulter Wall tonight. Bell James says electric heater to dry the interior out. Yep, for sure. If you've got moisture in there, electric heater is the way to go. Can I actually play any Coulter Wall? Well, foolish was I. Damn my foolish pride. 'Cause that man's lessons had a price. Oh, sweet price. My sweet soul, everlasting, my very own eternal life. You know the devil wears a suit and tie. I saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White as a cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. It's totally the wrong key, but it's fine. YTVR127 says, getting the suspension fixed, upgraded on the Valiant while we look for a motor replacement. Looking forward to giving it a bit of a rakish stance. Cool. Awesome. I do have to wonder what's going under that hood. Seems like you got some options. I got just a couple minutes left here, guys. I'll try to get to all your comments and stuff. There are about 20 of them. I figured it was a joke, but you never know. Infinitely Wise says, looking for a black horn button for a 72 Demon. Bought one from eBay. Seller never shipped it. Damn them. I didn't notice. Months went by and eBay told me I'm screwed. Yeah, you got to get right on it. I've had that same thing happen to me where something was junk, something didn't fit, and eBay just, it's outside of the 30 days. Like, you should have figured that out sooner. So, yeah, it sucks. Curly Joe Robbie says, I want to give a shout out for your Reader's Digest A-body, early 60s through early to mid 70s Valiant and so forth. I hope you do get a 62 Froggy Valiant. Nice historical perspective. Please do more. Awesome. I will do that. Thanks. I appreciate it. The response has been largely positive, so I am planning to do it. Aben made it right on time as usual. Nice. Now we can start the party. Rooster said, Jamie, what happened with the 68 Charger in a movie? It was filmed. No, they finished filming. They wrapped the end of the week. They did the last clips on my car. So that was whatever week the engine compartment restoration video came out. They finished filming at the end of that week, I believe, or maybe they had a day or two the following week. But anyway, they're done filming, so it's going to be editing, post-production, a lot of stuff going on. Donnie says his jam is the 55 Dodge Royal. And the truth is, I have a soft spot for all 55 Chrysler products. I had a 55 Plymouth flathead 6.3 on the tree that was my daily driver for a while, and I loved that car. My friend Byron bought it from me. He still has it. It was his daily driver for quite a while. And yeah, super cool. I really like 55, the $100 million look cars. I think 55 was a sweet spot. They got really cool, and then they got really weird. And then they got even weirder, and then they got kind of boring, but okay again. And then they got cool for a second time. And that pretty much chronicles 55 to the late 60s. But yeah, big fan of that. So yeah, I don't know when that movie comes out. I have no idea. Like I said, during filming, I know my car was in it and there was car stuff. I know very little about the movie. I know the girl that wrote it. The lady, I should say, I suppose, because she's an adult. I met some of the crew, but again, I know almost nothing else about the movie. So I don't know if I'll get a memo when it comes out. I hope I do. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. It seemed really cool. It was fun to be involved with it. Oh, Bob had to clock out a few minutes ago and said, night all. Hope you have a great week. Hope you do too, Bob. We'll see you later. Old Iron said, hi, bye. Rooster says the car and boat combo that got booted. Oh, yeah. It was a 73 Cuda mod pulling a 73 Chrysler boat, both Hemi orange, both beautiful. Bunch of dicks, if you ask me. Hard to argue. Drink for the commenter voice. Seriously, my voice is going away. Don't you love Shark Week? No comment. Outer Fiddler is with us and says, I have a Ram Charger that came with carpet caked with desert mud. I dream of taking it out, hosing it off, and the mud having protected it from fading and wear. You could get lucky, but I wouldn't bank on it. Dan Tepper says, having an issue, 91 D150, tilt telescope column with cruise control. Turns easily in upper third. Something is binding beyond that. U-joint. Well, I mean, it could be the box, but I've always seen where it's okay here and then it gets tight is a U-joint. I don't know if 91 they had a U-joint yet, though. If they do, that's what I would be looking at. But yeah, I mean, it's possible it's the box. It's definitely possible, but I don't know. Outer, I hope. Fiddler also said it would be cheaper to buy a Roller 360 than to convert an LA 360 to Roller. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Magnum engine. That's why it's great. Outer Fiddler also said that the 8 1/4 was not available until around 70, which was more my thinking, but I don't know. And he said he saw it in 68. So I don't know. It seems early to me, but I'm not an expert there. Fully Auto says, I want a 70 to 72 Duster. We'll get it when I sell my Trail Duster. Cool. I mean, obviously, I really, really do like Dusters and Demons. And I own a nice one. I'm proud of that. But yeah, very cool. They're just not at the top of my list. That's all. Ross says 300 Ds and E's. Something about a 392. And I totally agree. But I'm good with just the lowly dual quad 331. I'm fine with that. 300 horsepower is enough. Plus 392s are too expensive. The 55, while desirable, it doesn't seem to be as desirable. Infinitely Wise, and I could prove that by that one I was going to buy, which was in fairly decent project shape, being for sale for over a year. Infinitely Wise says, I have a 7318 Swinger that was once owned by a famous Canadian environmentalist, David Suzuki. Never heard of him. He traded it in at Toyota in 1983. That is awesome. Outer Fiddler said, I would love a 61 DeSoto or Chrysler. Just love the candid fins and headlights. I like them. Yeah, I'm not going to run out and buy one of those if one falls in my lap. Absolutely. I loved the 61, the 300G. That was very cool. Ross says, I was going to request something from the Cold Stairs. I don't know anything by the Cold Stairs. Curly Joe Robbie says, nice voice there. Yeah, it's kind of checking out, though. So that's becoming a problem. but thank you. I appreciate that. I like to think I have a bit of a singing voice. It's hard singing down. Singing sitting down. God. It's really hard to belt it. And here in the studio recording my voice without all the noise of a band around me, I have a problem with the upper range. But belting it live, I've got something. And I don't say that with an ego or anything. I'm not an amazing singer. I sure as shit am not trained, but I've got something. But it's so hard. In any other setting. Put me on a stage in front of like a bunch of people, and I am at my best. Sometimes, like I've listened back to the lives and I'm fiddling around on guitar, and I sound like I don't have a clue. It's weird. I'm conditionally talented. Kelly Smith says, I had a 70 dart swinger too when I was a kid. Ended up selling it after I messed up the 340. Ended up with a 318 poly. Damn. Yeah, it's a bummer. I had a 70 swinger, which I loved. It was flat black with a white stripe. It had many engines and transmissions in it over the time I owned it. I improved it. And then one day I was under it. I noticed something weird, put my finger through the rear left frame rail and went, nope, I'm done. Frame rail is death. I later found out it's not death, but I traded it for the garbage can CUDA. So a lot of good came out of that, but I really missed that car. Javi Macias says, maybe I missed it on your A-body video, but what's the difference between dart and swinger? Well, swinger was two-door only. Sedan would be more likely to be called a dart custom, but there were other models. I think there was a base model. There was also a swinger special. I'm not sure they had that in 70. Not totally sure. They did in 71. But anyway, a swinger is a two-door. A two-door does not necessarily have to be a swinger. Now, I'm not totally sure on the different ways they were orderable in 70, but yeah, a swinger was a package in 69. Let me look that up because I don't want to be wrong, but I think there are non-swinger two-doors. Yeah, they're custom two-doors. Yep. So the swinger was a package, and the thing is, they're a slant six, nothing special swingers. But yeah. Well, now that's interesting. I just found a listing on Fabo. It's a 70 Dodge Dart Custom GT. It doesn't have the swinger emblem on the quarter. Most of the ones I've seen do, like this one. It's a swinger with the swinger emblem on the quarter. That's a swinger. It has the side trim. They didn't all, but I think the majority of them did. Here's a 70 Dart. What does that say? Custom? It says Dart something in the trim. Before 70, there were other models too. Dart. Crap. What was it? I don't remember. It's a number, but I don't remember what the number is. Dart 270. Dart 270. Yeah, that was a package, but I think that was gone by 70, and it was the custom. But don't quote me on that. Essentially, a swinger's a two-door, but a two-door doesn't have to be a swinger, if that makes sense. Altair Fiddler says, I hate to be a hater, but stance was never a good thing. It was part of the kitsch car, aka silly car stuff guys did to ruin their cars in the 70s and early 80s. It is sad guys are still doing it. I couldn't disagree more. I like it. It's cool. It harkens back to those days, and that's why it's cool. And yeah, it's dumb. They don't ride well. They don't handle well. They look ridiculous, and it's awesome. It's kind of like Street Freak Light. You know, I understand, and you sure don't have to do it to your car, but I like them. It's just a period thing. I like period stuff like that. Al Sear says, ran into a gentleman named John at Quick Times, swap meet in Red Deer. He came up from Montana to do the Miles of Mayhem with his 71 Demon. Sweet car, awesome guy. Nice. Rich Jordan peaced out, said ciao. Thanks for all the suggestions. You bet. Thanks for being here. Donnie finally said good night. See you, Donnie. Probably in 5 minutes. Rooster says, I have to run and text Tom about that hood latch or do something different. I'd love to get a Dodge truck cable and do an inside latch. May require additional mods to make it work. It wouldn't be too hard, though. Dan Tupper says, thinking of buying a Borgeson steering shaft. Collapses during a wreck. See if that helps. It could. I don't know Doggin either. YT Viewer has a 71 Dart Swinger. Yeah, I know that. It's the crazy yellow color. Curious yellow, I think. Really need to fix the minor couple of things to get it going. It's a blast to drive. TNT Mopar Performance says, I got a 71 Swinger. I drive it as my daily. I do some trading on the 67 CUDA. Well, I don't know where you're at, but you can email me at jamienoise, JAMIENOISE @gmail.com. And we can talk. 440 Phoenix. Oh, yes, I saw your comment earlier. Thank you for that. I think it was just a thumbs up, but I appreciate it. 440 Phoenix says, great video on the Magnum swap wiring info earlier. You bet. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Good night, Dan. You have a good one. Infinity Wise says, have you seen any of the darts built in Switzerland? They were a tiny bit more fancy with tight body gaps and map pockets in the doors. I don't know anything about tighter body gaps. I have seen later A bodies with the map pockets with the different dash. I'm thinking of Brazilian cars, though, I think. Little different styling touches. I don't think I've seen any from the Switzerland. God, I thought of another song, but now it's gone. Now I can't remember what it was. Yeah, forget it. It's time to go. I apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused, but my throat's killing me, and I'm out of ideas, so it's time to call it a night. 62 of us here after 2 hours. I really appreciate you sticking around that long. It means a lot to me. As you may well know, I very much look forward to doing this every week. It's the highlight of my Sunday. There wasn't much left in there. Anyway, thank you very much for being here. And thanks, Bell James. Appreciate that. And to all, a good night. See you, YT viewer. Appreciate that. Night, folks. I will see you next week. And in the comment section. Ciao for now. Don't break well. Bye now. Take it easy.